See something. Yo, what's going on? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. We got some things that we currently need to discuss that's going on in the boxing world, man. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We're gonna be talking about Subriel Matias slapping Teofimo Lopez when they finally met face to face yesterday night. We're gonna talk about Alexander Usyk and where he ranks amongst the all-time greats in terms of heavyweights. And then we're going to get into some open topics as always, man. I appreciate everybody that's in the building thus far. You see what I'm saying? I already see a shit ton of comments already in the building, man. Shout out to the boy Forever Dedicated. He said, slap the dog shit out of T.O. That's what, look like he hit him on the hat brim a little bit. So he sunbeamed like, man, get the fuck. You know what I'm saying? T.O. definitely need that because he be thinking he could say anything to anybody. You know what I mean? And from what I know about Subriel Matias, he ain't one of them dudes to be, you know, with the antics and all that extra bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Simple Boxing, what up? Yeah, baby. What happened? It's blurred out, so they can't see you anyway. Calm Minded said, yo, Mazuma, you seen Keith Thurman and T.O. dancing after the Manny draw? What they dancing for? I have no idea. I can't even answer that. Keith Thurman is somebody who lost to Manny Pacquiao when he was in his early 40s. And T.O., that nigga just a clout chaser, just looking for any type of attention he could get. That's just what I draw from that whole situation. You feel what I'm saying? Dust 22, what up? Agent 86, what up? Go 787 in the building. He said gave T.O. a cocotazo. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what you call it. Again, matate quieto. For sure. Bad Boom Balloon, what up? He said Akon was lit. Oh, so you went to the oh yeah, you said you was going. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm glad you had a good time. Silks Bando, what up? He said T.O. and Ryan fighting for top goofy of the sport. Bro, like I think T.O. worse than Ryan, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but at least Ryan shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? He hasn't said something. He hasn't really said much, you know what I mean, since his loss to Rolly Romero. He actually humbled. Like this dude, T.O., he could get embarrassed and then, you know, still act like his shit don't stink. Like he a weirdo. You feel what I'm saying? Coffee Plant, what up? Coffee Plant in the motherfucking building. What's good, brother? I hope everything's well with you and yours. You know what I mean? How everybody feeling? What we thinking about these fights, man? What's the post fight reaction? You know what I mean, I went back and watched a little bit of the Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao fight to see, you know what I mean, if I was just tripping or just caught up in the moment. Nope, nigga, Barrios certified buns, nigga suck. You feel what I'm saying? Dude didn't want to let his hands go at all. He was so worried about what Manny Pacquiao was doing. Like he was just so content with merely just competing with Pacquiao, not trying to outfight him, not trying to dog him. I'm seeing the size difference between these two, and I'm like, yo, Barrios could have easily just stepped to Pacquiao and just whooped his ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have let his hands go. Manny Pacquiao legs wasn't underneath him at all, stuck in the mud, slow, reflexes wasn't there. And I know that because Barrios, when he was choosing to let his hands go, he was hitting Pacquiao the majority of the time. That's the crazy part. So he did an absolute terrible job, man. But, you know, I think it's safe to say at this point in time that although Mario Barrios is, you know, a champion in the welterweight division, he's not an elite welterweight. I think he just so happened to be at the right place at the right time, man. When you fought your Dennis Ugas, you happen to take advantage of the injury that he already had in the Earl Spence fight. You know what I mean? It's like you reactivated that injury that helped you out. That's what got you, you know what I mean, in position to, you know, get that good win. You feel what I mean? After that, it's just been nothing but disappointing performances, mediocre performances. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing that really stands out about Mario Barrios at all. I think that his handlers know that he's not an elite level welterweight at all, so they're trying to move him as carefully as possible before he ends up losing that title. Because when he does lose that title, he's not getting that title back. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's just be honest. With everybody that's coming up from 140 to 147, those fights are not competitive. He does not beat Devin Haney. If Richardson Hitchens was to move up, he does not beat Richardson Hitchens, because he was planning on going up to 47 in due time. Teofimo, if he were to move up, he cannot beat him. He cannot beat Rolly Romero, who's new to the welterweight division. Like let's just keep it 1,000. And I'm seeing that people talking about Manny Pacquiao versus Rolly Romero. Why? Like, and I understand, like, because it's gonna be money. Rolly looking to get them big fights. You know what I mean? He about that bread. You feel what I mean? I ain't mad at it. You know what I mean? Get what you can before you leave. And from a conversation I had with Rolly, he doesn't want to be in boxing too much longer. That's just what he's told me personally. You feel what I'm saying? So if you know what I mean, get your money and get out. It is what it is. People in the sport for different reasons. But Rolly Romero, if he's looking to really get himself in a power position, he needs to go ahead and grab that other title. You know what I mean? Because I know we criticize, sanctioning bodies and shit like that for, you know what I mean, pretty much robbing fighters out of their pay and stuff like that. But one thing that we can all agree upon with world titles is that it puts these fighters in power positions. You know what I mean? It increases their value, in the boxing market, I guess you would say. Brings them more power to the negotiation table. Yeah. You see what he doing right now? That's called making biscuits. When they trying to get comfortable and they start, I mean, he's doing that little weird shit. Then we got Blackie over here. Look. He just be chilling. But it brings them more power to the negotiation table and it ups their bread. So if I'm Rolly Romero, in all honesty, man, we know Manny Pacquiao ain't gonna be going nowhere anytime soon. You know what I mean? I don't think Manny Pacquiao is gonna fight for the rest of the year. Just my personal opinion. So in the meantime, try to lock in that Mario Barrios fight. You know what I'm saying? Try to lock in that Mario Barrios fight. That's a PBC versus PBC type of fight. You know what I mean? I'm sure y'all got the same handlers. Y'all do business with the same people. Just go ahead and get that shit out the way, man. I got Rolly Romero stopping Mario Barrios. If Barrios fights like that, like how the way he was fighting, where like, you know what I mean, he just struggling, like he just trying to keep up type shit. If Rolly really presses him, steps up that aggression, lets his hands go, he gonna hit Barrios, bro. He gonna hit Barrios. He gonna crack Barrios. Barrios not gonna like his power at all. If you out here getting your shit rocked by Abel Ramos and all that, I can only imagine what Rolly Romero's power would do to you. You know what I mean? Marlon 2631 says, all jokes aside, Rolly is having a good career, big fight after big fight. Yeah, he's had some mishaps with his losses and stuff like that. Pitbull was a terrible situation. The Tank Davis fight was competitive till he got caught. But, he's made the most out of his career, with somebody who started boxing late. Let's just keep it 1,000, bro. Like, he started boxing in his late teens. Very little amateur background. He made a name for himself by beating people up and sparring at the gym. Floyd Mayweather gave him a chance with Mayweather Promotions. And, he's done well considering the circumstances. Barrios is, not Barrios. Rolly Romero isn't like this, pound for pound level fighter by any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion. But at the same time, considering where he's come from and how he started in the sport, because you got to understand, a lot of these dudes been boxing since they was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. You know what I mean? Like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez and, even Ryan Garcia. These young dudes been boxing since they was babies. Rolly didn't have that same background. He didn't come up that same way. So for him to be a 2-division world champion, if you want to make a case, if you want to count Reggie belts, you could say a 3-division world champion. But, me personally, I think he had 2 legitimate belts in 2 different weight classes. He had the WBA, at 140. And they about to elevate him to the WBA champion in the welterweight division as soon as Boots relinquishes titles. So this man is about to be a bona fide 2-division world champion and may possibly be a unified champion if he gets that Mario Barrios shot. Let's just keep it 1,000. You feel what I'm saying? So, so it is what it is. I don't know how the hell we even got to that point, but, we just chopping it up. So I actually wanted to share this video with y'all. I actually wanted to, take a moment to, I love laughing. You know what I mean? I love having a great time and just laughing at people and laughing at certain situations, jokes, and all that. And I think it's safe to say at this point in time that Teofimo Lopez is the biggest joke in the sport of boxing right now. Not because of his skill level or anything like that, because Teofimo Lopez is a talented fighter. If I was to say anything less than that, would not be true. But how the way he moves in the sport of boxing, what he stands for, his character, that's what makes him a fucking joke. You know what I mean? So let me actually share the screen for y'all to see this for y'all own eyes. You feel what I mean? Teofimo gets slapped. He gets slapped by Subriel Matias. Now, mind you, I seen a little video before this where Subriel Matias and Tio was going back and forth. I think Tio was calling him fat, that he doesn't stay in shape, and he's not going to be able to make 140 no more. It's like, bro, he literally fought like 2 weeks ago or a week or two ago. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand Tio at all. He's an idiot. But yeah, the only nigga I know that like Teofimo Lopez at this point is down low nose boxing. You know what I mean? Like that's the only nigga I know. But anyways, let's look at the video. So we can clearly see. I don't know if y'all can see my mouse or anything like that. But this is what happened. Let me see. So you see, this is Subriel. I mean, being held back. Tio running his mouth with that goofy ass Kango with the shades. Stupid ass. Look at how his hat tilted. His hat was facing straight. When Subriel slapped this shit, his shit started leaning to the side like a new era fitted. Let's look at this shit again. Let's look at this shit again. Look. The Tio still talking because you know security there. But you ain't even tried to swing back. Look. He talking. Like, nigga, look, glasses went down and all. Y'all peep that? Y'all peep that shit? Nigga had glasses. He got slapped. His shit his glasses went right down. Fell right over his eyes. This stupid ass. Good luck. Hey, is TLC in here? No. I think we should give TLC here a call. I think we need to give T.O. Senior a call just to get his thoughts on his son getting slapped. You feel what I'm saying? I think that's what we should do. Hold on. Let's give T.O. Senior a call.
Yes, hello, how you doing? This is Junior with the high school diploma.
Hey, man. T.O. Senior don't like the he don't like the, he don't like to talk to me no more. I forgot his sister number. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna try. Yeah. You know what's funny? I checked the other day, and T.O. Senior is still subscribed to the channel. You feel me? That's one thing we do know. That's one thing we do know. I try to speak to her, but she ain't want to speak to me neither. Them TOs don't want to talk to me. The Lopez's, they not too fond of Mazuma TV. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know what I did to him. You know what I mean? I sent her a video. I'm calling T.O.'s sister now. Hey. Just hung up on me. Why you always hanging up on me? Like, damn. Why you can't talk to me? Like you ain't got no problem talking crazy to Crawford and them. Like, damn. I'm just trying to I just want to know why you don't want to talk to me. What's wrong with me? Like you could talk to anybody else. Do I need to go to Florida? Do I need to go to motherfucking Vegas? Like, where do I gotta go to talk to the Lopez's? Can somebody tell me? Hold on, real quick. Let me mute this. You know, they put a copyright on my shit from these motherfuckers playing their music outside. I'm just trying to talk. Can we talk about it? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Come on, man. Yeah, man. I don't know, bro. This nigga Tio, man. I don't know what's wrong with him. Yeah, I seen that clip of Tio talking crazy about Canelo, talking about he's slow and like nigga, you wasn't saying that when you was on his dick trying to train with him. Like, bro, if you genuinely feel like that, if you genuinely feel like Canelo got these type of like, weaknesses in the ring, why did you go out of your way to try to train with him? If you genuinely feel like you better than him, he got all these holes in his game. He's such a limited fighter. Why did you want to be a part of Team Canelo? Why was you trying to flex on Ryan Garcia when Eddie Reynoso decided not to work with him? Why was you trying to flex like, oh, you not with the team no more, man? You know what I mean? Like flexing like, ha 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 ha. Whole time he wasn't training with your goofy ass neither. And then you were so upset. You were so upset that they didn't want to work with you no more. You feel what I'm saying? But now you want to come out here and start talking spiteful about Canelo Alvarez. You was a weirdo. You was a turncoat ass nigga. Turncoat ass nigga. There ain't nothing loyal about you. I remember you and Rolly was real cool. Y'all was great friends. And you went and decided to post a sparring session between you and him for no apparent reason at all. Just for y'all not to fight anyway. You went and turned your back on Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero said that he was there for you when you was talking about unaliving yourself. You burnt that bridge for no reason. Top Rank, who made you the fighter that you are today, put you in position to be the world champion you are today. And listen, there ain't no loyalty in business, in my opinion, especially in boxing. But at the same time, you decided to shit on their name when all they did was put you in position. Turkey Al-Sheikh gave you your career highest payday from what I understand because you was crying, talking about how you never came home with $1 million. So they put bread in your pocket. They have you fight in your supposed hometown, all for you to talk crazy about Turkey Al-Sheikh after the fact because he wanted to put you in a tough fight with Devin Haney. Like, Teofimo Lopez is an absolute goofy. He has habitually talk shit about people. Then when he sees them in person, the energy is never the same. You was going out your way, popping that shit to Terrence Crawford, acting like, you know what I mean? Like Terrence Crawford scared of you. Then when he pull up on you, you talking about it's just for promotion. Nigga put his hand around you like you his son. You feel what I'm saying? Like put his arm around you like you his son. You sat there bitching, talking about sparring. Nah, pussy, what was that shit that you was talking about? And why was you talking? Oh, it's just for promotion, bro. Yeah, Silk's Bando, yeah. You just like the rest of these other motherfuckers, bro. When y'all see Canelo Alvarez, y'all niggas get moist and shit. That's the type of time y'all niggas be on. Y'all just be so like infatuated with Canelo Alvarez. Then the moment he don't fuck with you, now you want to start hating and talk about how you feel about him. Nah, nigga, you was just on his dick like a couple months ago. Like this year, you was on his sack. They don't want nothing to do with you because they probably don't want them racist, that racist shit probably threw them off and they ain't want to rock with you no more. And now you in your feelings. And you was talking shit to Ryan. Oh man, I heard you ain't a part of the camp no more. I heard you ain't a part of the camp no more. Whole time you not either, dickhead. You know what I'm saying? And then after they cut you, was like, oh man, I don't feel like my style was really fit for them anyways. Then why did you go out of your way to try to add him to the team? And then that's the other thing. You wanted your father to be your father's talking about he will always be the head trainer. So Eddie Reynoso will be below you. Eddie Reynoso, that much like he the juice crew and all that. But if we talking about accolades, accomplishments, and consistency in the game, Eddie Reynoso has accomplished what Teofimo Lopez Sr. has accomplished 100 times over. Let's just keep it 1,000. He's worked with multiple world champions. Who has Teo Sr. worked with other than his son? It's like Angel Garcia. They the same niggas. They both dope fiends. You know what I'm saying? They like the, you know what I mean? Then they parade around like they these great trainers whole time. They only got one fighter to their name, and it happens to be their son. Like if you a true boxing coach, like if you a real teacher, you limiting yourself to one fighter don't really make sense to me, bro. We want to see if you could build a fighter from the ground up. Can you keep can your fighter keep a world title under your tutelage, or can you take a fighter who's already established and improve them? He's never done that. And if T.O. Senior is such a good fucking trainer, why your son keep looking for other people to help assist your training if you so elite? I never heard of Canelo going out of his way to add another coach to his team because Eddie Reynoso wasn't doing his part. He know that his father a bum-ass coach. He know he ain't learning shit from his father. That's why he keep trying to seek knowledge from other places. You feel me? But anyways, I'm glad Subriel slapped that nigga over the brim and knocked his glasses over and had his glasses crooked and shit looking like a fucking fool. Let's take a look at this one more time. Look, still popping his shit. He thinking Subriel ain't gonna do nothing. He think he like everybody else. Ooh. Ain't even had no reflex to do anything. They only pushing one person back. Try one more time.
Yes, hello. How you doing?
Crazy. Yeah, motherfucker. This is junior, senior with the high school diploma program. Like, nigga, you was a fucking sucker, nigga. Then he talking about, please text me. Nah, nigga. Nigga wrote, please text me. Fuck out of here. But anyways, yeah, man. So I'm glad. Yeah, he just texted me that. He said, please text me. There's gonna be one. No smoke with Mazuma TV, man. Nobody. Ralph said we ain't forget him and Subriel was supposed to fight earlier this year, but T.O. didn't want it. Yeah, he was complaining about. I forgot what he was complaining about, but he was saying, "Oh, Top Rank wanted to make the fight happen in California. Why would they make it in California when a lot of Puerto Ricans is in New York? Nigga, you just looking for any reason. So you with Subriel was because they wanted to make the fight happen in California and Puerto Ricans is in New York, so why not make it happen in New York? Then Turkey Al-Sheikh and I want you to fight, and he said, I'm at the movies, lost my contacts. Who's this? Who should I say I am? Who should I say I am? Who should I say I am, bro? Nigga said Bob Arum. Yo, that's fucking hilarious. No way, bro. Doug Dimmadome. Nah, there's no way, bro. I'm about to say Bob. Oh, look, my pop in the building. What up, pop? T.O. Senior right next to him in the black shirt. I was wondering that was him or not. I couldn't tell though. It's a little bit too far away. Let's take a look at him. That definitely looked like him though. Oh yeah, that is. Wait. Yeah, that do look like him. The shades and all that. They didn't even do nothing. None of y'all niggas is turkey, bro. Oh my god, that is him. I should have known his cokehead ass daddy wasn't gonna let him go too far away without him. That's definitely T.O. Senior. Now that I'm looking at the glasses with the shades like that. Bro, I'm trying to tell y'all niggas he's a fucking turkey, bro. He said, which Bob? I know a couple of Bobs. Look at this nigga page. Hold on. And now, being you on my life. And I know what to say. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? I'm looking through his followers right now to see which Bob he'll know. What the fuck is this? I'm trying to figure out why T.O. didn't even had a reflex to like try to do something back. You know what I'm saying? Like when Chris Eubanks smacked Conor Benn with the egg, you know what I mean? Like Conor Benn had that reflex like to pop off. Even like Frank Martin scary ass when Tank flinched at him, at least he reacted in a way to defend himself. This nigga T.O. just stood there like what? So I took a random person off of his followers and said I was him. Trying to see. I'm trying to finesse him, yo. I'm trying to outsmart him. I'm trying to fool him. Said he had the movies right now. That nigga in the dark hand the whole line. Fuck out it. T.O. Nigga said T-Ho just laughs like nervous hoe at church. Facts. Nigga said before Subriel would put him in a body bag. Yeah, I heard about Subriel background. Them Puerto Ricans from the island different. So I believe it. Subriel get that nigga gas. I don't know what happened in that fight. But I know one thing for certain. If Steve Claggett pressure was getting the TO, I can only imagine what Subriel's pressure would do. The intensity, that pressure gonna be different. Yeah. T.O. Senior quote, I'm on coke right now. Like, sheesh. Matias was towering over him. Yeah, I didn't know that. Like, I know Subriel, from what I know, he not even that big. So when I seen he looked so much bigger than T.O., I'm like, this nigga T.O. small, bro. No wonder why your power ain't translating to 140. Nigga, you was a baby, nigga. Mind you, I've never seen T.O. in person. So I don't know. Hold on. Made T.O. look like Pitbull. Hold on, I'm just looking for my charger, yo. Hold up. Yeah, T.O. definitely little. But I'm not even talking about height wise. So I'm not the tallest nigga neither. But like I'm talking about like frame. Like he a baby. He definitely a baby. Nigga said, call you later. I'm in Vegas. Nobody wants to talk to Mazuma TV, man. The daughter, the father, and most definitely the son don't want to talk to me neither. I wish there was a way I could get T.O. number. I wish Rolly would. I know Rolly wouldn't do it. I wish I could hit Rolly up like, yo, let me get T.O. number. Oh my God. That shit would be hilarious. I know he won't do it. When's the last time I spoke to Rolly? I don't even know. Last time I spoke to Rolly was June 18th. So about a month ago. Silks Bando said he needs to make his own weight class at 37 if he wants to get any KOs. That's a fact. Like he niggas not cracking at 40 at all. Niggas is not respecting that power. He fast, he athletic, good reflexes and all that. So he gonna shine on a lot of niggas because he just more gifted than them, like athletically. But the moment that he get in there with somebody who, you know what I mean, put that pressure on him, bring the fight to him and break him up, like a Subriel or a nigga who's more athletic than him, because there's multiple ways to beat T.O. But his defense is not that good, especially off of the ropes. That Steve Claggett fight showed me a lot. They're like, oh, Subriel, Teofimo Lopez, he threw over 1,000 punches in the fight. Bro, he had no choice. Do you see that pressure that was being put on him? He had to fight Claggett up off of him if he wanted to win that fight. He had no choice because he couldn't take his time like Shakur did and, you know, make him miss all these times and then shoot some shots in between like he did with Cepeda. No, his defense ain't set up like that. When you put T.O. in a situation where he ain't got no choice but to fight, he gonna use his offense. That's gonna his offense gonna be his defense. He gotta fight you up off of him. But the thing is, when you match that boy's output, then what? I like Subriel's chances against T.O. I ain't gonna lie. Tio gonna be shooting. He gonna be letting his hands go on Subriel. Subriel not gonna be phased, bro. And Tio legs not built to just be moving around the ring 24/7. And he not gonna be able to get physical with Subriel. So I know Subriel a lot stronger than him. Yeah, they pussy, bro. Like dad has got knocked out by guys before. You know what I mean? Like in the gym, them got folded up, beat up at the gym. And his son ain't do nothing about it. Like Tio slapped Arnold Barbosa, but he snuck him. You know what I mean? He snuck like he, you know, it is what it is. He got that little slap off on Barbosa. Barbosa tried to get him back though, but security saved Tio. You know what I mean? This nigga Subriel slaps him on top of his hat, nigga glasses. Look at the video. Look at how the way his glasses was set up, and then look how his glasses looked after Subriel slapped him. Look, his glasses is right on his eyes. Boop! Look, his shit just dropped right below his big ass nose. Tio Senior ain't try to do nothing. Tio Junior ain't try to do nothing. Hoe ass niggas. Hoe ass niggas. See, I'm a fan of Subriel Matias, so I wouldn't even confront the dude. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, he did slap me like that. You think I'm gonna just sit there and just be like holding my face or just still talking? No, I look dumb. If you get smacked and you just still talking like you and don't retaliate in any way, shape, or form, you pussy. Like, I'm sorry. Now, if you try to get it back and you can't, then you know it is what it is. But like if you do that, Jamal, that's the equivalent. I mean, Jamal Charlo's situation was worse, but it's the same type of situation. A nigga violates you, and you just sit there and do nothing. Y'all, you and the Charlos cut from the same cloth. No wonder why he like you. No wonder why the Charlos fuck with Teofimo Lopez. Remember, Jamal was like, "Oh man, everybody racist, man. It is what it is." Y'all cut from the same cloth. Y'all both top tier pussy. Y'all talented in the ring. Y'all can fight, but y'all niggas is not men for real. Y'all bitches. Straight like that. He said, Mazuma not smack. Cocotazo is worse. We do that to little boys. Yeah, like he sunned them. I get what you're saying. The Cocotazo, that's like, yeah, they both bad for real. Whether you get slapped or Cocotazo. But yeah, Cocotazos, you do that to little niggas for sure. Yeah, turkey. Coffee, he a bona fide turkey. That's a fact. Mazuma get JYF on the channel. JYD. I don't know who that is, brother. Who's that? I don't know who that is. Damn, this shit getting real hot. Like the fuck. Hold on. Turn this shit up. He from Philadelphia. Oh, you talking about Aaron Peterson. You talking about Breadman fighter. We could do that. We could do that. I'm just like I'm not the type of channel that like really be too big on interviews. Like I do them, but they're not like my bread and butter, like a Mill City or you know what I mean. Like you need to interview somebody like a cigar talk. Like they like to converse back and forth with fighters. I understand. You know what I mean? Because that's where the views at, and that's what gets your channel attention when you bring the fighters on. But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. We could do it. I did the interviews. I did the Bomax, the fucking Brian Norman seniors, Thomas Lamana, Mike Fox, Breadman, Greg Hackett. I've done them. I don't know. I feel like if you rely on interviews to get your channel popping, it's like how good are you at what you do? I mean, different lanes for different people. You feel what I mean? Like if you I mean, if that shit road to success, then so be it. But I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like it's I feel like it's important that your subscribers fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like it's important that your subscribers fuck with you, um, just as much as they fuck with your interviews. Yeah, I mean, I genuinely feel like if these niggas wasn't doing interviews, niggas would not fuck with their channel because you know what I mean, they corny. I'm not saying I don't know. That's just me. But anyways, Nakatani team ain't want that band work for real. It's probably because they looking to move up to 22. Why they want to fight Bam at 18 or whatever the case is when they go up to 22 and get a stupid bag with Nayu and Inoue? He said you should get Barrios on the channel and then just cook him the whole time for that ass performance. Bro, if I was to bring Barrios on my channel, I don't even think I would really cook him for real. I would just try to understand his perspective. Like, bro, like why didn't you take them chances? What was stopping you from really why did you bring so much respect to the ring? Like that's what I would ask him. I wouldn't just you know what I mean? I wouldn't slaughter him because like Barrios a nice dude. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, come on, dog. Like you let a lot of people down. You disappointed a lot of people. This was supposed to be an example of why the old niggas shouldn't be fucking with the young niggas. You feel me? And you gave Manny Pacquiao all the confidence in the world that he could still do this boxing shit. And it's really gonna hurt Pacquiao at the end of the day because he gonna end up biting off more than he could chew. He gonna get slaughtered. That's gonna be a bad John. But it could have happened. It could have happened last night. Yo, Pop, JYD, he talking about Aaron Peterson. That's one of Breadman's fighters. He said, Bam, my new favorite fighter. He nice. Hey man, Bam been one of my favorites for a few years already. Try to tell niggas a while back. I'm like, yo, this little motherfucker different. I didn't think he was really gonna get much props because he was in the smaller weight classes, but a lot of people are taking a liking to Bam. It's probably because he got the look too, man. He got a cool little style to him. You feel me? Cool. He got what they call that shit. He got like a dope aura about him. Yeah, Ugas fried Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, and Ugas didn't really do the most to beat his ass neither. That's what really fucked me up. Like, Ugas was popping his jab, and then looping right hands over the top, catching Pacquiao every time because his legs wasn't underneath him. You feel me? When our updated pound for pound list. When should we do that, y'all? When should we do that? Let me let my group chat know that I'm live, first of all. Oh no, Anonymous already got it. Probably after Canelo Bud. That's actually a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. We wait until September. That's yeah. Ain't no point in updating it now if we got a big fight coming up. But anyways, so let me play this one more time for the people's satisfaction. Uh, they going at it. Well, they talking back and forth. The dad send it. Boop. Stupid ass. Sat there like a whole dummy trying to play it off. The dad didn't even say too much. That's like usually the dad be getting all erratic and talking crazy. He ain't say a motherfucking thing and just watch his son get slapped. Yo, these niggas crazy, bro. I'm sorry. These niggas crazy. Let somebody slap my son in my presence. Ooh-wee. What my boy ARF said, it's gonna be so much fucking smoke, you won't make it off the block. Swear to God. Another thing. Another thing, Alexander Usyk, right? Because the Lopez, they don't want to talk to Mazuma TV, man. I mean, they don't want to talk to Mazuma TV. As a matter of fact, I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Yo says, do you think the Bois show quit? Let's talk about Alexander Usyk, man. So Alexander Usyk just came off of a dominant knockout. Well, a dominant performance and beautiful knockout against Daniel Dubois, who was a world champion in that fight last night. Daniel Dubois' aggression, his punching power was completely neutralized tonight. Last night. I think Alexander Usyk did a great job of, giving the illusion that he was actually in range when he wasn't. Those small half steps back and keeping his range and catching him at the end of them shots with, putting beautiful counters on Daniel Dubois' chin. You feel what I mean? Daniel Dubois didn't like Alexander Usyk's power at all. He had gotten rocked several times prior to the first knockdown. I think Daniel Dubois got up off that first knockdown, was trying to prove that he was still dangerous. He loaded up on a big shot. Alexander Usyk was able to get out of range momentarily and come back with a nasty shot, a nasty left hook that rocked Daniel Dubois. Like, his head snapped real ugly. He fell. And it was a bad knockdown. I think that Daniel Dubois was genuinely hurt. And although he was hurt, I see people saying that he quit, and I can understand what they're talking about because, he took his time getting up. Let's just keep it 1,000. And we've seen plenty of fighters who were really hurt that still made it to their feet, you know what I mean, in hopes to beat the count. So Daniel Dubois definitely took his time getting up, but at the same time, Daniel Dubois really looked like, I'm not going to say he didn't know where he was at, but it genuinely looked like he was in a different world. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was completely out of it. He looked like he was concussed. So it was probably hard to get his thoughts together and exactly understand the situation that he was in because of how hard he had gotten hit. You feel what I mean? It was a beautiful shot, and Daniel Dubois didn't see it at all. He was out of position defensively, first of all, and chin was completely exposed. And Alexander Usyk was too quick to the trigger. You feel what I mean? He beat him. He beat him to the. He beat him to the punch, basically. Like, you know what I'm saying? He beat him before he could get. He beat him to the finish line in terms of getting back to his defense in time. So, Alexander Usyk absolutely dominated. So now when we look over his heavyweight resume, man, he's done some phenomenal things. Anthony Joshua, 2-time unified champion of the world, beat him. And Anthony Joshua got some good title defenses as well against top competition. beat him twice. Tyson Fury, who was undefeated and had some good wins on his resume, Vladimir Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, you know what I mean, Dillian White and shit like that, beat him twice. Now we're talking about Daniel Dubois, who made a complete 180 since losing to Usyk the first time and becoming world champion, beating guys like Philip Herkovich, Gerald Miller, Anthony Joshua as well, beat him twice. So it's like, bro, Alexander Usyk has clearly shown to be the top guy in the division. It's not even close. You feel what I mean? To the point where people are really, urging Alexander Usyk to retire because, he's accomplished pretty much everything that you need to accomplish at heavyweight in terms of defeating elite level opposition. I heard Eddie Hearn say, man, he should just retire. But if he wants to continue fighting, then so be it. And I understand what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. But I do think that there's one more opponent that I feel like is worthy of a shot at undisputed, to be honest with you, because he's been on a good winning streak as well. He was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois, but Daniel Dubois had to pull out with an illness, and it's Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker deserves a shot at Alexander Usyk. Then after that, if he were to defeat Joseph Parker, which I believe he can, dominantly, if I may add, in a dominant fashion, I may add, then he could go on to retire. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see. Anonymous says, I think Usyk proved that these big 250-plus heavyweights will never be better than the smaller, quicker, athletic, skill heavyweights from previous eras because they don't have the agility or stamina to keep up. Yeah, and that also feels like, to add on that, Anonymous, I also feel like they don't really got that killer in them neither. You know what I mean? Like that heart. That killer instinct. You know what I mean? And the overall intelligence isn't there in this era, man. So when I hear, and I hear like the, recency bias is a motherfucker, man. You feel what I mean? Because I'm hearing people talk about how, Alexander Usyk is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. And I'm like, bro, let's just keep it 1,000, bro. Like this current era of heavyweights, do not add up to the heavyweights from the 70s, the 80s. Shit, you can make a case even for the 90s. I would have to look over that. But, this is probably one of the weakest era of heavyweights that we've seen in a very long time. Like, let's just keep it 1,000. Like, with as limited as Deontay Wilder was, he was able to pile up 10 title defenses. We've seen a lot of fighters have success, in today's era that probably wouldn't be able to. They probably wouldn't even get a world title, in the 70s and the 80s and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I think that is very disrespectful to say that Alexander Usyk is, the greatest heavyweight of all time when he's only had 7 total fights in the heavyweight division thus far. Like, let's just keep it 1,000. Like, let's actually take a look. Before I put out that number, let me actually look at Usyk's box rec. Let me see how many total fights he has at heavyweight. So he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, so he actually got 8 fights at cruiserweight. From Chaz Witherspoon, he got 8 fights at heavyweight. From Chaz Witherspoon all the way up to Daniel Dubois. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you got 8 fights at heavyweight, bro. Like, when we really look over, like, and I don't like to compare eras because there's different circumstances. You know what I mean? Sometimes even different rules, because Jack Johnson didn't fight under the same type of rules that these fighters fight, in today's time. You feel what I mean? But when we look over, these other guys and what they've done in their career, they've done things greater than Alexander Usyk, to be honest with you. In the 4-belt era, was he able to become 2-time undisputed at heavyweight? Yes. But you know what I mean? We got guys like Joe Louis who had 25 title defenses. It was champion for 12 years. Are we just supposed to just disregard that? You know what I'm saying? And Joe Louis beat notable opposition as well. And just because, these current era of boxing fans don't know their names, don't take away from the fact that they were great fighters in their own right. You see what I mean? How about Larry Holmes? I always bring up Larry Holmes because I feel like he's one of the most underappreciated, disrespected heavyweight champions of all time. You feel what I mean? Larry Holmes had 20 title defenses. Like, these guys dominated in their era. I think Alexander Usyk gets away with dominating the heavyweight division today because these bigger heavyweights they can't keep up with his pace. They can't keep up with his movement. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are significantly at a disadvantage in terms of the athleticism department. Usyk, him coming, this dude competed at 165 in the amateur, so his gas tank and his pace set up different. He used to be a smaller guy at one point in time, so he's gonna fight at a pace and an intensity that these heavyweights aren't accustomed to because traditionally the average heavyweight doesn't throw many punches, and a lot of them aren't really accustomed to going 12 rounds because one good shot from them and the fight could be over. That's just how the way heavyweights have always worked. You can't name too many heavyweights that have high work rate and could blast for 12 rounds straight. You don't really see that too often, even in the older days. You feel what I mean? So I think that's what Usyk gets away with, in this current era of heavyweights. That I think that's what he's able to take advantage. What he's able to take advantage of. But then let's look at guys like Evander Holyfield. You know what I mean? With everything that Evander Holyfield has accomplished in his career, from cruiserweight to heavyweight, is he a greater heavyweight than Evander Holyfield? Silks Bando said it goes both ways. In my opinion, we can't blame Usyk for the era he's in, and the older heavyweights will dominate this era. I mean, yeah, and I'm not shitting on Alexander Usyk's, situation at all. That's not where I'm trying to come at with it, because I've seen people, discredit Alexander Usyk and try to take away from the fact that he's a great heavyweight. And I'm telling you, he is a great heavyweight without a doubt. He's an all-time great heavyweight in my opinion. But there's a difference between being, saying that he's an all-time great and saying that he's the greatest. That's what I have a problem with. You feel what I mean? Y'all ruining a great moment right now. That's what boxing fans tend to do. Like we should be enjoying the moment right now, just appreciating the fact that we got a great heavyweight, in this era right now who's absolutely dominating, putting on sensational performances. We should be focusing on that, but there's always that one person that goes out of their way to make these outrageous claims that just ruins all of the fun. In all honesty, man, like I say, recency bias is a motherfucker, bro. Where you rank Alexander Usyk, you know what I mean? That's a deep subject. I'm telling you right now, he's definitely the greatest heavyweight of this era, in my opinion, just based off of the route that he took and how he was able to, go through that storm and come out without a scratch on him. You got to give him respect for that, and he deserves his place as an all-time great heavyweight. You feel what I mean? Especially with him being a small heavyweight. You know what I mean? That's at a significant disadvantage size-wise in comparison to the guys that he's been fighting. He's fighting 6'9" Fury. He's fighting 6'6", 6'7" Joshua. You know what I mean? Daniel Dubois looks every bit between 6'4" to 6'6" himself. He didn't look much smaller than Anthony Joshua. He actually looked like they was about the same size. So 3 massive heavyweights that he really didn't have no business being in the ring with. He could have easily just stayed at cruiserweight, but he looked for, greater challenges and was able to pass each test with flying colors in the 8 fights that he's had in the heavyweight division. But come on, man, we gotta put some respect on, the other all-time great heavyweights. Even Lennox Lewis. Look at what Lennox Lewis accomplished. Do I really need to name his accomplishments and what he's done? He got one of the greatest resumes to ever be chalked up in boxing history, especially amongst heavyweights. You know what I mean? From the amateurs, being a gold medalist, just like Alexander Usyk, to, coming in and being a undisputed champion himself in the era that he was in. I think he had 3 of the belts, and he's beat notable opposition back to back to back. And even in fights, and motherfuckers always want to bring up the losses. Lennox Lewis has avenged every loss he's had by knockout, and nobody was able to beat Lennox Lewis and just get away with it. You feel what I'm saying? So. And what Evander Holyfield is like, what, a 4-time heavyweight champion of the world, the only 4-time heavyweight champion? Like, come on, bro. George Foreman. Like, are we really about to say, Alexander Usyk is greater than these guys? Yeah, Evander Holyfield is the only 4-time heavyweight champion in boxing history, having held the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles and regained them multiple times. And before the 4-belt era, he was crowned undisputed champion in 2 different divisions. That's Evander Holyfield. Come on, man. Yeah, like we can't, like Evander Holyfield's like I don't know how, and like I said, Usyk got some beautiful accomplishments, especially in this era. When we look at previous eras, this ain't what Usyk did isn't necessarily uncommon. You feel what I mean? So I don't like that people just, I love that they giving Usyk his flowers. That's dope. I love to see it. But at the same time, it's like, let's not, we don't got to dim somebody else's light. You don't got to dim, another heavyweight's light to make, Usyk, shine bright. You feel what I mean? They can shine bright together. Let these guys have their legacies. Let these guys be all-time greats. And let's just appreciate these guys overall. You feel what I mean? I don't really like the idea of people saying that motherfucking Alexander Usyk greater than Muhammad Ali and all that. Muhammad Ali I believe he was a 3-time world champion, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. You feel what I mean? And his resume was beautiful as well. I can make a case that his resume better than Usyk's. Just keep it 1,000. And he had 19 Muhammad Ali had 19 title defenses, not consecutively, but he has successfully defended his title 19 times, bro. 19 times. First fighter to ever win a world heavyweight title 3 times. Look at these 3 crazy names the 3 crazy names that Muhammad Ali beat: Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. Come on, man. We're not even talking about Floyd Patterson or none of that, who was great in his own right. Do you think Holyfield beats Usyk at cruiserweight or heavyweight? That's a great discussion. I'm not really too big into like fantasy fights and all that, man. But Holyfield would have gave Usyk a hell of a run for his money because, for one, Holyfield had a granite chin. He had a shit ton of heart, and I don't think Usyk ever fought somebody with the type of work rate that Evander Holyfield had. Evander Holyfield was strong as fuck, punched hard, had a granite chin, and had no problem letting his hands go for 12 rounds. And he go to war with you, whatever you want, like whatever you wanted, whatever you wanted to do, Holyfield could do. If he needed to take it there, he would take it there. Silks Bando said, Mark, remember they took the shine off Bud win over Earl, comparing Bud to Floyd, just like this situation. Yeah, bro, they just don't never try. They never appreciate the moment. They always just want to, hop over and talk about other shit that's completely irrelevant. Like Bud defeating Earl Spence doesn't warrant you to speak about Floyd Mayweather, bro. Floyd Mayweather had his time. Terrence Crawford had a beautiful moment in the sport of boxing, becoming 2-time undisputed. Let that man have his moment. You ain't got to, when y'all make the comparisons, I'm not saying y'all, but when boxing fans make these comparisons, like y'all taking away from the important conversation. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, David Tua was definitely a beast. Definitely was a beast. I know David Tua would have been lighting shit up in this era. What? In this era, bro? David Tua would have been giving everybody gas. For sure. Niggas would have been petrified of David Tua. They'd have been ducking him. You know what I mean? But my overall thoughts on that whole situation, man, Alexander Usyk definitely proved he's the greatest heavyweight of this era. He definitely deserves to be mentioned in conversations when talking about all-time great heavyweights, of course. But I do think that people going a little bit too far. They're going a bit overboard when they're speaking about him being the greatest heavyweight of all time. You know what I mean? I think that got a little bit to do with him having the complexion for the protection. You know what I mean? Because I remember when Tyson Fury, I remember when he beat Dillian White, they was like, man, he's the greatest heavyweight ever. It's like, bro, stop it, bro. Stop it. Fucking Tyson Fury had how many title defenses at that point? Knock it off, man. And a lot of Tyson Fury resume filler for real, but that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. You feel me? Um, yeah, I don't like the recency bias, man. I think that boxing fans gotta be a little bit more responsible before they make these takes. I fuck with Alexander Usyk. He's pound for pound number one on my list right now, especially after that beautiful victory he had against Daniel Dubois, who made a complete turnaround in his career. Do I think Bam is top 5 pound for pound? Man, he just became a unified champion again. So we definitely need to start having those conversations. Like I said, in September, we're going to update the list, and we definitely going to have that honest conversation about where Bam should be placed. Absolutely. You might have to go ahead of Better Beef at this point. What y'all think? Better Beef coming off of a loss. We don't know if he's going to win this trilogy. Does he? I don't know. Bam might be ahead of. He might be ahead of Better Beef at this point. I know we had. I think Dimitri Bivol was like top 4. Let me see. Yeah, because the last time I touched up on this list, Mazuma TV's updated pound for pound list, I had Usyk. Let me just share it. This is the last time. And like I said, we're not gonna do nothing today. But this was the last time I had cooked up on the list. It was Usyk, Crawford, Nayua Inoue, Dimitri Bivol, Artur Better Beef, Bam Rodriguez. So Bam was number 6, Shakur was number 7, Devin Haney number 8, Junto Nakatani number 9, and number 10, David Benavidez. There's definitely going to be some moving around on this list, to be honest with you. Oh, why is Devin Haney on this list? Let's see. Let's see how y'all be talking in November. Yeah, we definitely going to talk about it. But as of right now, R3, Bam definitely, you could definitely put Bam number 5. But yo, what happens if Crawford beats Canelo? Is he still gonna be number 2? It's gonna be a serious conversation, y'all. If Bud defeats Canelo, does he become number 1? Because we seen Usyk move up and become undisputed, but did he move up 2 weight classes and become undisputed? That's gonna be a serious conversation. That's gonna be a serious conversation, bro. I'm telling you. But if Bud comes up short against Canelo, he might have to drop to that number 4 spot. Well, like we gonna see. We gonna see. Y'all saying he got to be 1? Okay, he got to be 1. That's what y'all saying. That's interesting. And let's say Devin wins in November against Brian Norman. Does he go above Shakur Stevenson, who hasn't unified the lightweight division yet? That's a 3-division world champion right there, just like Shakur. And he was undisputed in 1 weight class before that. If he get that WBO title from Brian Norman, then what? But if Brian Norman sparks Devin Haney, does he deserve to hit that number 10? We're gonna talk about it. We definitely gonna talk about it. I like these little conversations. It's all opinionated, of course. I mean, ain't no right answer for real. And my criteria, for my pound for pound list, no drug cheats. You know what I mean? No heavyweights unless you moved up the heavyweight like Alexander Usyk. Because if y'all understand, the origin of the pound for pound list with Sugar Ray Robinson and stuff like that, they basically made the list to say, like, if you took this fighter with the skill sets and the attributes that he has, if you put them in any weight class, he'll come out on top. You feel what I mean? So I'm big on resume. What was the 3 things I said? Resume. I think that's the most important because you can have all the skill in the world, but if you haven't beat nobody, how could we necessarily rate your skills? So resume, skill set, accolades. Well, no, bullshit. Resume, accolades, skill set. Those are three things that go into this resume, that goes into this pound for pound list right here. You need the resume because, like I said, it ain't about how many fights you had, it's who you fought. Accolades, because we need to know if you're able to consistently be great in terms of fighting and going into multiple divisions. You know what I mean, and coming out on the top of every division, or at least winning world titles. Uh, and then skill set. Skill set speaks for itself. Do you have a great jab? Do you have great move? Do you have great defense? Do you know what I mean? Do you have great ring IQ? Are you a great counter puncher? Are them skills able to take you to the point where you're able to win these world titles and beat these other great names? You know, these are things that need to be taken into account. And to be honest with you, I have Bivol in my top three. Am I tripping? No, not really. Not at all. I mean, it's like I said, it's all opinionated, brother. So if you feel like, because you, in your eyes, you may feel like Bivol got more notable names on his resume than Iowa anyway. Like he got better beef, Canelo. Who he got? Who else he beat? Gilberto Ramirez, I believe. I don't know. Bivol got some names. We got a few solid names on his resume. Put Marcus Rose at number one. Man, go to bed. Stay trolling. Put me at the number one. Put me at number one pound for pound amongst YouTube boxing channels for sure. Niggas can't talk boxing like me. You crazy? These niggas funny. You know what I mean? They be causing drama and all that. You know what I mean? Even be putting together great interviews. When it comes to talking boxing, breaking down the game, you can't fuck with me, bro. Do I know who Bud has in camp helping him for sparring? I actually don't. I'm assuming Steven Nelson, which I think is actually a pretty good fighter. That's a good friend of his. I'm assuming that's his chief sparring partner. I don't see how he wouldn't. You know what I mean? They basically best friends from what I understand. Steven Nelson is a small, stocky, super middleweight. You know what I mean? Like Canelo Alvarez, strong, could box. You feel what I mean? Like Steven Nelson could really rumble. So I'm assuming that gotta be his chief sparring partner. He got the perfect person with him in camp to get ready for Canelo. They don't fight exactly alike, but they got similar. They have some things in common. I'm gonna say. And you got other dudes acting like they boxing page, a shade room page. Yeah, bro. A lot of these niggas not boxing fans for real, bro. They like the drama that come from boxing. They just like to, have some tea about fighters and shit. Shit super corny. Like if you more worried about, if you in boxing, if you have a boxing channel and you more worried about, you know what I mean, like this nigga baby mom, or you worried about this person getting arrested, and like if you more worried, like if you on some TMZ shit, you know what I mean, like you a cancer to the boxing community, bro. Like you worried about the wrong shit. Who cares? Who cares, bro? Seriously. Like y'all ain't really hearing me talking about Gervonta Davis getting arrested for that whole shit with his baby mom. Bro, I don't care about none of that. Because they ain't got nothing to do with boxing, and that don't push the boxing culture forward. You feel me? Like I heard the same shit about Devin Haney, baby mom. Look, bro, I've been through all that. And I wouldn't want nobody talking about my personal life on here. You know what I mean? If they knew about it, so I'm gonna sit here and talk about somebody else's personal life. If it ain't boxing, it don't matter to me. It don't matter to me, bro. Unless it's like that huge of a deal. Like, unless it's like that huge of a fucking deal. That it just like, completely, catches all people attention in the boxing world. I mean, it's no use to even talking about it. That little shit, bro. Them women might wake up tomorrow and just tell them cops to leave their baby dad alone. That's just how that should be. One day they, you know what I mean? They on social media posting about how great of a dad that they baby dad is. Then the next day he ain't shit and he don't do this, he don't do that. He ain't see his kid in this long. Like we can't be believing these. We can't be believing these. Like a lot of people, they just automatically just believe the women. Silks Bando said, Mark, am I tripping or have we gotten too desensitized on Bud basically jumping up 3 weight classes with one fight at 154? Well, Terrence Crawford said it himself. It's a 3 weight class move up. He said it himself in interviews. You know what I mean? I forgot which one it was, but he said, yo, I'm basically moving up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez. So, in terms of people getting too desensitized by it, I think that people were taking it into consideration a lot more prior to the William Skull fight for Canelo. I think that after the William Skull fight, they seen a lot of holes in Canelo Alvarez's game. How much older he looked, how much slower he looked, how predictable his offense was, and how he couldn't cut off the ring. And I think after they seen them holes in Canelo's game, they started to get more faith in Terrence Crawford as a result of that. But prior to that, you know what I mean? They were saying how, Terrence Crawford too small. How's he gonna be able to deal with Canelo Alvarez's power? How he gonna deal with his pressure? What if he can't hurt Canelo? What if he tries to fight Canelo, like try to sit in the pocket with him and trade? I've seen a lot of people saying that, but I've remained consistent in my points, regardless of whether Canelo Alvarez looked old and slow in this fight with William Skull or not. It's still going to be an uphill battle for Terrence Crawford. That's a fact. There's a lot of things that we don't know. There's a lot of things that Terrence Crawford don't know for real. And he's admitted it. He's like, we just gonna have to wait and see. We just gonna have to wait and see. When somebody's saying something like that, it's because they're not too sure. They don't know. They don't know. If he was sure that he was capable of doing something in the ring, he would say it. Terrence Crawford don't be biting his tongue for nobody. If he genuinely feel a way, he gonna say it. He's done that historically throughout his career. I don't know why Go Get the Money retracted his message, but salute. You heard Bub inspiring Lester Martinez. Okay. Well, you got some solid people with him. That's what's up. But Steven Nelson, I think that's the best work he gonna get. That's nearby, I guess you would say. Go 787 said, man, being honest, I think Canelo will punch through Bud, in my opinion. I don't think Bud legs will hold up, even though I know he is a dog, but boxing is a cold sport. That was one of the questions that I had. Ghost, I was like, you know what I mean? Somebody with Terrence Crawford, who's always been known to have, good legs in the ring. How is that? How is his legs going to look with that additional weight on him? How's his punch resistance going to be at the weight? Because we've seen this man get hurt in smaller weight divisions, to be honest with you. How's he going to be able to take a shot from a full-fledged super middleweight who's consistently dropped opponents in his weight class? You know what I mean? So that's another thing. How's his punching power going to hold up? How is his speed going to be the same? Is he going to be at is Terrence Crawford going to be in as much great a shape than he has been in smaller weight classes? Because with smaller weight cuts, he's not going to have to work as hard. So because you're not working as hard, are you still going to have that same conditioning? Because if Terrence Crawford works too hard, he might come in underweight, and that could be a disadvantage as well. So you got to have that balance. I don't know. That's difficult, man. That's difficult. It's a lot of questions, bro. Can Terrence Crawford answer them? Yes, but historically, and I know that Bud has been different than all these other guys like Kell Brook and Amir Khan and all that moved up multiple weight classes and failed. But he has never really gone well for people who moved up against top guys, you know, moving up multiple divisions. Hold on. I actually seen somebody ask a question, but I got distracted. Go get the money says Mazuma. What does Roach have to do to enter your pound for pound list? Well, first of all, he got to beat Tank if that fight is still there. Um, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't even want to see Lamont Roach and Shakur Stevenson fight. That's just me. You know what I mean? I would rather see. I would rather like to see. Tank and Shakur fight because there's more of a history there, and they both champions in the division. I don't really like the idea of Lamont Roach, who's currently champion at 130, getting all the opportunities at 135. I don't really like that at all. I think other champions at 35 should be fighting each other, like Raymond Mordetaya, Shakur. You know what I mean? If Abdullah Mason gets a title, maybe Mordetaya and Mason. You know what I mean? I want to see some unification fights happen. Roach, I would like to see him go back down to 130 and get an Oshaki Foster fight. Um, shit like that. Like I want to see him. I want to see him fight other top 130s. Oshaki versus Stephen Fulton would have been a great fight. Hopefully they still got that shit in the works, man. Because I don't know, PBC Wilding and Tank, his mind all over the place right now. R3 says if Tank fought and beat Shakur, does Tank take Shakur's place on your pound for pound list? Shit, he might. That's the only reason why Tank ain't on my pound for pound list. It ain't because he ain't skilled or you know what I mean, he ain't got no accolades. No, it's because his resume ain't there. He hasn't beat anybody. And like I've said, he's beat some solid names like Rowley, Frank Martin, like those solid guys. Hector, what the fuck is his name? He beat Chris Colbert and Lamont Roach beat him. Hector Luis Garcia, I think that's his name. No, he's beat solid names like that. You feel what I mean? But like no, and Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia wasn't really, he was only notable because of his popularity and his following, not because of what he's accomplished in the sport. You feel me? So that's the only thing that's stopping me from putting Tank on this pound for pound list. His resume ain't up to par like these other guys are. You feel me? Like, like even with number 10, David Benavidez, he's been getting fucked over by the politics of boxing, but he still got a Caleb Plant on his resume. He still got a David Morrell on his resume. He still got a Demetrius Andrade on his resume. Those are all guys who've had world titles. You feel me? Junto Nakatani, come on. Look at what he's doing. Look at who he's beating. Dominating his weight class. Gervonta Davis has yet to assert his dominance in any weight class that he's ever been in. And you let him tell it, he don't give a fuck about that. He just want his money. He want to get out. That's it. That's all he care for. So if that's all he care about, why should he be, on this pound for pound list? When everybody on here, unifying titles and beating top names in their division, and Gervonta Davis ain't. Shakur Stevenson, he was actually unified in the weight class before. You feel me? Like he's beating champions like Oscar Valdez and Jamel Herring. He's beating guys that that have been presented to him and made it look easy. He just beat the number one contender in his whole weight class, and William Cepeda. You know what I mean? So he's been getting fucked over by the politics of boxing too, but he's making the most of what he has. Tank, big because he's the big star that he is. He has basically every fight within his fingertips. He just gotta instruct his team to make the fight happen, and it's gonna get done. Who's gonna turn down a Gervonta Davis payday with the big star that he is? Nobody. So the only reason why Tank ain't on here is because he hasn't taken the steps necessary to prove that he was the best amongst his weight class. Everybody just think he is. Mark, how trash is Fundora? Hey, man, look, Fundora definitely got a lot of holes in his game. And I think that eventually he going to end up getting smoked by one of these guys like Jerron Ennis or, if Bud go back down to division, Jermel Charlo. You know what I mean? I even think Keith Thurman to get that nigga some work, to be honest with you. But Fundora, he's stacking up a little nice resume there. Tim Tszyu twice with Erickson Lubin. Hold up now. Hold up now. That boy Fundora, he knocking these motherfuckers down. Let me find out. I think Jermell Charlo all wrong for somebody like Fundora though. But Jermell need to get active because if he let that inactivity fuck him over, Fundora might catch up on his ass. But Jermell too fucking strong. I think Jermell will spark Fundora. But he need to get his ass in the ring. That nigga going to Mr. Gary Russell route. You sitting here arguing with Keith Thurman. What you arguing with Keith Thurman for? Keith Thurman thirsty, looking for a fight. Nobody want to give him an opportunity because he wasn't giving niggas opportunities when he was champion. Fuck Keith Thurman. Go after Sebastian Fundora, man. So Sebastian Fundora ain't got nothing lined up. Go get that fight, man. You talking about you gonna reclaim your throne at 154? Sebastian, a good step, first step. He a good first step. He looking closely at Xander. Bro, did y'all see them pictures from Xander Zayas? Hold up. That motherfucker look like he in phenomenal shape, bro. Look at this kid. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this shit up. This shit ain't gonna let me log in. Huh? This shit acting up. Hold on. I'm gonna try one more time. I'm gonna try to see this picture of Xander Zayas, bro. That motherfucker been working. I don't know. But just look at this picture right here. Yeah, he in beast mode. Look at him. Cut the fuck up. Look like he on weight already. Look like he on weight already. He locked the fuck in. When he got a week left, yeah, he ready to go. We need to start seeing unifications at 54. I agree. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers need to step. Somebody need to step the Bakram, man. Somebody need to step the Bakram. Because you let Turkey tell it these niggas scared of him. You know what I mean? Niggas going out like hoes when it come to Bakram. I don't know what's going on. You feel like Xander gonna stop Jorge to the body? You know, it's funny. I said the same shit. I said the same thing. That's realistic. Because one thing about Xander, he don't give a fuck to let them hands go, bro. He do not care to let them hands go. Sim should just leave that boy Fundora alone. Yeah. I heard that they asked him if he wanted to continue, and he said no. So if that's the case, Tim Tszyu quit. So they definitely ain't no coming back from that. Said Jermell gonna clip Fundora like Mendoza clip Fundora. Shit. Jamel looked like the type of nigga that he liked to punish people though, so he might really just beat the shit out of Fundora. Yeah, Tim Tszyu, I told you, bro. I like when they stopped the fight, I understood why because the way that Tim Tszyu went back to that corner, he like Fundora broke him. Like he broke him, bro. And Tszyu wasn't trying to go back out there to get dealt with. He didn't want to fight no more. That bitch came out of him, bro. Some niggas get broke. That's what Earl Spence said, you know, in that Terrence Crawford build up. He was like, man, sometimes niggas just get broke. And that's what happened with Tim Tszyu. What's going on with the Bakram Lubin fight? I don't know. Bakram been having terrible luck though. You wanted to see Spence for Castagna versus Castagna. Battle of the losers. Damn, what's up with Castagna? Did that nigga retire? Anonymous, I definitely hear what you're saying because what I always say is, bro, if you were an elite level fighter at one point in time, which Tim Tszyu was for a short amount of time, but he was world champion, and you're no longer able to compete at that level for whatever reason, what's the point of even continuing the box? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of continuing the box if you can't even compete at that level that you once did? Like, if you're no longer able to thrive at a high level, what you sticking around for? That money not going to be the same. You know, the attention that you're going to get ain't going to be the same. You're not fighting for world titles. It's like you pretty much stagnant at that point. So it's like, all right, what are we doing? And you know, Tim Tszyu could probably get a couple big fights out in Australia and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because from what I heard, he is a name over there. So he could probably do like some Australia level fights over there, get a couple bags or whatever. And if he's able to do that, much power to him. But in terms of, you know, fighting for that world title or actually, you know, grabbing a world title, I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. Like he can't. He lost to Bakram. He lost to Sebastian Fundora. That's already two champions out of the four in the weight class. You know, do I think he beats Xander Zayas? No, I don't. With the damage that he's picked up, I don't think he even would look Xander Zayas' way if he defeats Jorge Garcia Perez. Or is it? I don't know if it's Perez Garcia or Garcia Perez, but regardless, y'all get what I'm saying. I don't know if he beats either one of them dudes. You know what I mean? Jorge might be a little bit too violent for Tim Tszyu at this point. Tim Tszyu looked like he completely lost his confidence in that ring. I remember when he couldn't be shaked. I remember Jamel was popping that shit to him and he really didn't care. Like he was so confident, he didn't give a fuck what Jamel had to say. He was fully confident in his abilities because they were supposed to fight at one point in time. And Jamel walked away from that fight to get a Canelo fight. You not beating Terrence Crawford if he chooses to come back down. What are we really talking about for real? So if you can't do that, you know, is it really worth sticking around? I don't know. How do you see the Earl versus Fundora fight going if they fought? First of all, that would have been a war. That would have been a war. Go get the money. That would have been an absolute war because one thing about Spence, he a stepper. You know what I mean? He ain't into all that moving and boxing. He like to let his hands go, jab first, rip to the body. You know what I mean? Put that pressure in and hope to break you. And Sebastian Fundora the same way. You know what I mean? He ain't no, high IQ level type boxer. He like to walk to you too. If he got to fight on the inside, he will. You know what I mean? He like to let his hands go and do damage and hopes of breaking you. So when you put them two styles together, most likely that shit ain't going 12 rounds. You know what I mean? It's really going to come down to, you know, who's the more durable, determined fighter, I guess you would say. It's going to come down to who wants it more. You know what I mean? I know that can sound cliche at times, but I really think that's what it'll come down to. And who sustains who's able to take it as much as they could dish it. Pause. And considering the fact that Earl Spence, he's coming off of a long layoff, and he's coming off of a fight that may have been career ending in a sense. I don't know if he'll be able to take what Fundora is dishing out. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if this version of Earl Spence could beat Fundora right now. And I think Earl Spence knew that, and I think that's why he didn't really follow through with the fight. I don't think he felt like he was ready for that. You see this nigga Earl playing soccer and chilling with his kids. He not worried about boxing right now. Frank Martin told you he ain't worried about boxing right now. So he may very well be done as well. If you made the money that Earl Spence made and you coming off of a crazy car accident where your body took a lot of damage and may never be the same, and then you run up a couple fights, then you get brutalized by Terrence Crawford, it starts to make you think about it. It starts making you reflect on your life and whether you want to continue putting your health in jeopardy like this anymore. Just keep it real. You know what I mean? Like, do I want to continue taking this punishment when, Al Heyman been telling me since the beginning of my career that, my health is more important than anything. That not all money, good money. He done invested his money in some good places and he don't need the box anymore. When you take all those things into consideration, is it really worth coming back? Because Al Heyman been telling Earl since the beginning, we gonna, get this money and get out. He got the money. So he just might have got out, but he hasn't really announced it yet because you never know that there might be an opportunity that falls in Earl Spence's lap that he can't refuse. Or maybe, he walked away. He don't really feel the need to announce anything. I don't know. I guess time will tell. Aside from Tim Tszyu, who has a better resume, Xander or Bakram? Mazuma, can you compare? Well, neither one of them have like this crazy resume. You feel what I'm saying? Xander Zayas, I think that they've been moving him very carefully over at top rank, and I think Bakram Murtazaliev has been avoided. You know what I mean? Because he is a dangerous guy in the division as of right now. So I think that both of these guys don't have great resumes, but I think for different reasons. They both got champions on their resume. They got one champion each on their resume. One was a former champion, and I think that how did Bakram get that IBF title? Did he get that off of Tim Tszyu? Hold on. No, he actually got the vacant title off of Jack Koke. Okay, never mind. So he got one former champion on his resume, Bakram Murtazaliev, and Xander Zayas got a former world champion on his resume with Patrick Teixeira. So you know what I mean? Like, who's a better champion, Tim Tszyu or Patrick Teixeira? Patrick Teixeira, I think he beat Carlos Adames. I don't know, man. I guess they're about even, to be honest with you. Marky Dan, what up? You said I asked because I personally seen both of their fights, and Xander has looked better against common opponents. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know you was talking about performances. I thought you was talking about resumes. No one has ever brought up Boots versus Xander, which y'all think. I think that's for a reason. I don't think top rank one Xander anywhere near somebody like Jaron Ennis, bro. Keep it 1,000. Xander style, all wrong for Boots. All wrong for Boots. You're gonna give Boots too many opportunities to let go on you and yeah. And he definitely not punching like Boots neither. Like Xander, he like to let his hands go, punches and bunches, then systematically, you know what I mean? He breaks you down, pretty much beats you into submission. Boots brutalizes you. He punishes you. Then he gets you up out of there. Yeah. Xander don't want them problems. Like, watch. When if Xander defeats this Jorge guy, Jorge Perez, they gonna hold that title. They gonna hold that title. Trust me. They gonna hold that title hostage over there at top rank. You know how they do them WBO belts. Yeah, Xander don't want that, bro. I think Xander really believes in himself, though. I think that he, I think that he really thinks that he's the best in the weight class. But you know what I mean, he ain't fucking with Boots, in my opinion. I'm rocking with Boots all day over Xander. I try to give Xander a chance. You feel what I mean? I try to see what was going on with him. Uh, I try to do an interview with him, but bro, they think this nigga the next Tito Trinidad, so they real selective with who they do interviews with and all that shit. So I'm like, damn, I'm Puerto Rican, you Puerto Rican. I mean, it'd be dope to put something together. Nope, nope. They don't see it that way. This nigga, Marky Dan crazy as shit. He said Xander only been tested against trash cans. They had him on the Jared Anderson Edgar Berlanga diet over there. The Edgar Berlanga diet. Xander definitely been rising to the occasion though, and he been putting on some great performances. And I'm hearing motherfuckers talk about Edgar Berlanga like the best Puerto Rican. But Xander's a lot better than Edgar Berlanga. Way better. That's why he beats Boots. I mean, that's your opinion. If you feel like Xander beats Boots, that's cool. Me personally, I don't think so. I don't think that happens at all. I would like to see it though. If they make it happen, they make it happen. Shit. Xander versus Virgil, that's a good fight. Xander was trying to get that fight, but you know, they chose what the fuck was it? Madrimov instead. But Xander put his bid in like I'll rumble you. Shit. Xander was like, I'll fight you. He was disappointed. He was disappointed he didn't get picked. Anonymous says, I think people also forget how young Xander is. He's only 22. They were never going to throw him in with the Wolves off rip. But you know the thing, Anonymous, because he getting a world title now, he going to have to get in the mix with them Wolves. He going to have to. See, that's the thing. It's like they need to really think about their moves before they make them because it's like, because I remember when Anthony Joshua got his first world title of Charles Martin, like really early in his career. And then they was trying to line him up with the other champions. They was like, oh, well, Anthony Joshua, he's green. Oh, he's green. Bro, that green shit do not matter when you win a world title, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't no backstepping off of that. So I feel like if Top Rank knew that Xander Zayas was going to get a world title shot this early in their career, they should have given him the tough fights. Not like fights that he may possibly lose, but the tough fights that really help, grow and develop as a professional. And I think in spots, I think like his last fight against Slava Spalmer, I thought that was a good test for him and shit like that. I definitely think he's grown since off of that fight. But you know what I mean? I think he ain't cut corners like Edgar Berlanga. You know what I'm saying? He didn't cut corners like Edgar Berlanga, but you know, they was holding his hand too. Not like Berlanga though. You feel what I mean? Edgar Blanca was getting held by both hands. You ain't ever see them kids walking and the father holding one hand and the mother holding the other hand, and they like swinging their kid up in the air. That was Edgar Berlanga. He was getting his hand, both his hands held by both parents. You know what I mean? Bob Arum here and Carl Moretti over here, and they just holding both his hands while they walk down the block. Xander, he was getting his hand held, but you know what I mean? They gotta let his hand go, this weekend. That's the thing, bro. It's like he young, so I understand why they took their time with him, but it's almost like in the amateurs, you know what I mean? If you got 9 or less fights, you consider a novice. You feel what I'm saying? When you got 9 fights or less, you consider a novice. But as soon as you get that 10th fight on your record, you out there with the wolves. You can fight a nigga with 10 fights like you, or you can fight a nigga with 100 fights. And it's just, what we doing? Like, you ain't got no choice but to step, nigga. That's just how that shit go. This nigga said Hamza is Himothy. Oh, man, we got to pump our brakes on Hamza, man. Edgar Berlanga was never really like that, bro. We've been telling y'all. I don't know if he Himothy because he beat Berlanga, though. I was saying he Himothy Bradley. That's crazy. They ruined him by allowing him to fight Canelo. Not only that, but his opposition on his come up was weak. So he was always underdeveloped, even with the amount of fights he had. He was severely behind in comparison to his peers. But one thing I can say was he wasn't really shit in the amateurs neither. I was listening to Sean Porter talk. They said Edgar Berlanga wasn't even making it to the semifinals in these amateur shows and these amateur tournaments. It's like, bro, I got fighters that's not even that experienced that made it to Golden Glove finals, and we even got some Golden Glove winners. Edgar Berlanga wasn't even winning them Jones. That's crazy. See, this is what I think, right? Edgar Berlanga started getting all this attention from the mainstream with rappers and stuff like that, and he let that shit get to his head where he felt like he was this star. And plus, he was selling some tickets in New York and stuff like that. So that combined with getting that co-sign from rappers and stuff, he started to feel like he was this megastar. And Top Rank knew who he was. Behind all of that bullshit, they knew who he was as a fighter and what he was ready for and what he wasn't ready for. So Edgar Berlanga started like, you know what I mean, big up his chest and started like questioning his promoter and shit like that. Like, oh, I need more money for this. I want to do this. And they like, bro, you not ready for this step yet, bro. Just trust our process. We got you. Oh, no. I want this fight. I want this fight. I want this much money. So, you know what I mean? Top ranking, and I guess Edgar Berlanga's team, they came to some type of agreement and they released him. I don't know if he did some type of buyout or whatever the case is, but they released him nonetheless, right? So then Eddie Hearn sees Edgar Berlanga and is like, look, you know what I mean? Eddie Hearn studied the game. He all about the money. He like, man, I probably can't do too much with Edgar Berlanga. You know what I mean? I don't really rate him. I don't rate him. I don't rate this fighter, you know what I mean, as like this elite, champion level type fighter. So, you know what I mean? We gonna have him beat up on some UK level fighters. You know what I mean? We gonna talk to Canelo. I mean, we gonna get a stupid bag off of the Canelo fight. And then after that, I don't really see no use in Edgar Berlanga. Cash him out and send him on his way. Top Rank did all the hard work with building him up. All I gotta do is give him a couple bums. Canelo out here accepting cherry applications, and you know what I mean? Edgar Berlanga got the job. Eddie Hearn got his percentage and didn't really see the use of continuing to work with him. That's what I think happened with him. Did Berlanga start boxing late? No, he didn't. That's what's crazy. I heard the nigga been boxing since he was a baby. He said that baseball was his first love when he was a kid. And his dad just ended up bringing him to the boxing gym. And ever since then, he just been there. You said I watched Berlanga first fight. He said, I watched Berlanga first fight where he went the distance against Damon Nicholson. Berlanga was shocked when he was catching the dude and the dude wouldn't go down. Yeah, that's how you know that's how you know that's somebody who don't really have much experience, in the professional ranks. Because if you thinking you got so much power where a nigga supposed to go down, it's like that type of entitlement, that just lets you know the type of opposition you've been in the ring with. When Edgar gets to that pro box level, he switches to a rapper. Watch, Mark. I'm surprised I ain't hear a song from Edgar Berlanga yet. Because he chill with rappers so much, you would think he wrote something. This nigga said pro box level. He gonna start rapping. Yeah, nigga, you better hope them chains worth something. I hope you invest in your money, Edgar. With all them get money niggas you be around, I hope you invest in your money, man. Cause after that Hamza Shiraz fight, shit. I don't know. You probably got another payday left and that shit. But let's get a last question before I get up out of here, man. I gotta get back to the grind tomorrow, so I gotta be up nice and early. Let's see. Got any more questions before we get up out of here? Edgar could be the next Jello ball of bachata. That's crazy. Bachata. Yo, that's hilarious. He said, I know a couple Puerto Rican boxers that was Spark Berlanga and they box on the side. Damn. Y'all niggas funny as shit. Edgar should have took that Rosado fight. Facts. Usyk versus Moses in 1 year. Who you got? I got Usyk. I don't see what like Moses. He looks like he looks like he has a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but he don't really give me any reassurance or confidence that he could beat the best fighter in the world right now. Like I don't know what really gives people confidence. I don't know what really gives Turkey Al-Sheikh the confidence that that's the fight. No, that's not the fucking fight. You feel what I mean? Like, let's see Moses actually in there with some type of competition. Let's see him fight somebody since motherfucker's so big on Moses. Let him just go fight Cabiel. Let's see how he do against Cabiel. Because he been looking for an opportunity too. So let's see Moses actually defeat somebody credible. You know what I mean? A notable name that got some type of momentum, and then see. You feel what I mean? Let's see Moses versus Cabiel. Let's see what happens from there. If he beats Cabiel, then all right. You know what I mean? Then we can start talking about him versus Usyk. Or let's see Moses beat a Joseph Parker. Let's see that. You know what I mean? It still looks like they still molding Moses, and that's completely fine. He's young. You feel what I mean? But speaking about him versus Usyk next, that's crazy. It's like you trying to destroy that kid's career. I mean, when they that young and inexperienced like that, bro, they still building their confidence as well. You about to stun his whole growth from a mental aspect because you greedy and want to make these dumbass fights happen. Shit don't make sense. Usyk ain't gonna get no credit for that. Yeah, Moses a baby, bro. That's a 2000s baby trying to get him a shot. And motherfucking Alexander Usyk, who about to be 38 and still ain't showing no signs of slowing down. He number one in the WBO. Hey, man. I don't know. Who's the WBO interim champ? The WBO interim champ is Joseph Parker. So he need to go ahead and fight Joseph Parker. Go ahead and get the interim belt. So the interim belt puts you in position to fight for the full status title. Yeah. Then all right, just go through the proper steps. If you're the number one in the WBO, all right, but see, you talking about Mike Tyson, we talking about Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I mean, you talking about all-time greats. You got to pump the brakes on Moses a little bit. You know what I mean? Since he 21, 20 years old, whatever the case is, had that motherfucker go through and beat the notable guys. Fight the WBO interim champion, Joseph Parker. If you rank number one in WBO, get the interim belt. Then after you get the interim belt, go ahead and go for that world title. It's simple. Why the fuck is he more deserving of a shot at Usyk than Joseph Parker? When Joseph Parker, the actual interim champion of the WBO, and I think the WBO just ordered Joseph Parker to face Alexander Usyk. So the WBO is ordering Joseph Parker to fight Alexander Usyk. They just announced it after his fight with Dubois. Y'all want Moses to skip ahead of Joseph Parker to fight Alexander Usyk? Since when the number one guy gets an opportunity over the interim champ? I don't understand that. Fuck is the point of having the interim title if the number one guy could just come take your opportunity? Shit's stupid. But anyways, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I hope everybody has a blessed, beautiful night. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go catch up on some Z's and get ready for this work week that's ahead of me, man. If y'all can go ahead and hit that like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? We on the road to 4K. We about to hit that 3,100 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation in the mouth for making this possible. Until then, this is Mazuma TV. I holla at y'all, man. Peace.